Sasa utadropiwa wapi?
Kwani na niacha hapo ndio hiyo.
Wewe anakidnap mtoto, ana traumatize mtoto sababu ya pesa ngapi wewe?
Na wakati wewe na kunyima pesa ndani ya nyumba, unasikianga namna gani?
Nasikianga ni kama naweza call it and then na nitafute bwana mwingine.
Can't you just keep the past in the past? For starters, your dad. He's trying to finish my family.
I have to get ready. I'm going on a date.
Who's the lucky guy? You may begin to address me as boss from now on.
Oh.
Why are you not in the office?
She's not your boss.
She'll do anything to get me fired.
You know you're jealous of me because nimepata shares and you have none. You're on fire. Time is money. If you know I like you, yes. So nitakusaidia. Please. Kama unajipenda utatoka hapa hivi sai haraka sana.
Mambo ni mawili, kufikisha, kumwaga na kurudi. Kulala ni mwaka mpya.
Muka we mse. Nini mbaya?
Wewe kwani wani vile dereva anaendesha gari vibaya, lazima tususe. Anaendesha gari na kwa simu the whole time, hata angalia barabara. Mamiseni dereva tusimame. Wewe dereva wewe. Mwaka iliyopita peke yake watu zaidi ya 1000 walipoteza maisha yao barabarani kwa sababu ya tabia kama hizo. Hautatuangamiza tukiona.
Naomba msamaha, nitampeleka vizuri.
Si wameomba msamaha. Sasa tuende tusafiri kwa mwendo wa aste.
Dere Smart hufikisha abiria salama. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na NTSA kwa ushirikiano na European Union.
Good evening, welcome to Prime Edition. I am Cynthia Nyamai and it is so good to have you with us tonight. Now, tonight I will be telling you why students who are joining Form 1 in Kiharu constituency are going to have their school fees subsidized. And also, business was paralyzed for the Butter Day of today in Narok County. I have those details for you coming up shortly. But first, let's have the highlights. Narok residents in day-long protests against cases of insecurity following Wednesday night killing of a surveyor.
Kuna vile tunaweza kusimamisha mpango kama hii ya housing. Mpango ambayo iko kwenye katiba, mpango ambayo iko kwenye manifesto, mpango ambayo imepitishiwa sheria. Itasimama namna gani ati kwa sababu mtu mmoja ameenda kotini? On a charm offensive, President Ruto meets Jubilee MCAs in Nakuru, launches development projects in Nyandarua. And anti-graft agency EACC investigates 35 counties over fictitious travel claims.
Our sign language interpreter for tonight is Anne Wangeshi. And remember, we would love to hear from you. You can send us your comments on our social media pages. That's KBC Channel 1 on Instagram, Facebook, and also on Twitter. You could also send me a message on my social media pages at Cynthia Nyamai. Now, business was paralyzed in Narok town for the better part of Thursday after residents took to the streets to protest the spike in insecurity cases in the cosmopolitan town. The latest incident is the murder of a 29-year-old land surveyor, Dixon Nkansala, last night by a gang reportedly terrorizing residents in the town. It is believed that Kamsai's death was due to a land tussle. Frederick Parisoya with the details.
Ugly scenes punctuated parts of Narok town on Thursday. Angry mob begged for the blood of one of the suspects believed to be among the killers of a local land surveyor, Dixon Kamasia. The crowd could not be contained and the police had to use tear gas. The suspect was dragged to a police vehicle for his safety, even as the charged crowd persisted on pouring their anger on him. Motorists plying along the busy road that connects Kisii and Nairobi counties were forced to wait for hours before the police contained the situation. The residents, through the Narok County Peace Chairman Joshua Kaputa, expressed their frustration, saying that Dixon's murder is one among the many lives that have been lost at the hands of the gang.
And as a peace ambassador, I cannot be speaking about peace while our people are being killed. I cannot speak about peace while the young people are being killed. And I'm saying that Kenyans are important, and especially the youth. Those are the people that are being killed. We want to request the government to come out clearly and save the lives of people.
Traders and border operators decried insecurity in the town. That has since forced most of them to close their businesses as early as 8 p.m.
We are going to come together and sanitize our town because we need security. Na security ya watu, we don't want to buy the security for Narok County residents.
Narok County Commissioner Isaac Masinde, speaking on the phone, called upon the residents to maintain calm.
Ujumbe wangu kwa wananchi ni kwamba wapeane polisi nafasi. DCI aendelee na uchunguzi ili tuweze kupata wale watu ambao waliua marehemu.
Masinde further refuted claims that they have effected a curfew, saying they have intensified security operations in the county. Security operators will hold a baraza with the public tomorrow in Narok town. Parsai Frederick, Prime Edition.
The government will intensify its focus on the last mile road connectivity to boost access to resources and services in the country. This was the message by President William Ruto, who was on a development tour in Nyandarua County. The president, who also met Jubilee MCAs in Nakuru County earlier, called on political leaders to set aside their political differences and focus on development.
President William Ruto was in Nyandarua Thursday to launch several development projects, among them the construction of Boiman Kwamumbi Road. It is here that he told off his critics over choices his administration made to salvage the country from debt distress. The president now says his focus is to develop the country.
Kuna mtu ako na kazi, bibi yake ako na kazi, watoto wake wako na kazi. Alafu kwa sababu wako na pesa anaenda kununua wakili, anaenda kuhongana kotini, ati vijana hawa wasipate kazi waendelee kuwa watumwa wao. Na mimi nimekataa hiyo maneno.
He said the launch of the 44-kilometer stretch road is a lifeline to the milk, vegetables and potato farmers in the county of Nyandarua as it connects them to better markets. He noted that the last mile connectivity that Kenya Rural Roads Authority is driving will ensure that no part of the country is left behind. The president, who was accompanied by the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and a number of other government officials, noted that a number of projects earmarked for rehabilitation include the 14-kilometer Nyahururu Boiman Road.
Tumekubaliana pia na tumeweka mipango ya kuhakikisha kwamba contractor hawezi ondoka kwa site mpaka kazi iishe.
Na sasa rais atatembea akifungua maendeleo, kila kitu amepanga, akiongea na wananchi. Unajua alikuwa anafikiria kwa sababu amenyamaza ati hajui ni nini naendelea, lakini kazi lazima upange.
Na nimeambia pia mahakama, sijui kama tunaelewana, nimeambia pia kotini, hakuna vile tunaweza kusimamisha mpango kama hii ya housing. Mpango ambayo iko kwenye katiba, mpango ambayo iko kwenye manifesto, mpango ambayo imepitishiwa sheria, itasimama namna gani ati kwa sababu mtu mmoja ameenda kotini? Sijui kama tunaelewana.
Earlier, the president was in Nakuru for a meeting with ward leaders from the region. The president told the members of the county assembly to put aside their political differences and focus on unity.
Kudanganye ati you can build a country kutumia madeni, pesa ya watu wengine. We have to build our own resources. Ni mnanielewa? But you know, because it's a difficult decision to make, nobody wants to make it. Watu wanataka tu unachaguliwa na unataka tu kupigiwa makofi throughout. Why? Hakuna mtu anachaguliwa kupigiwa makofi. We have to change our country, and I am telling you we are going to change Kenya. Hawa watu wanatupigia makelele saa hii ndio watakuwa wanatupigia makofi zaidi hapo mbele.
Irene Mchuma Udim, the Prime Edition.
The country has collected $1 million, an equivalent of 157 million shillings, in the last 1 week following the rollout of the electronic travel authorization system. This was revealed by Principal Secretary, State Department of Immigration and Citizen Services, Ambassador Julius Bitok, during a tour of JKIA to assess the rollout of the program. According to Bitok, following the launch of the visa-free entry system, the country has received 32,000 applications to visit the country. 7,000 applications are pending, while 110 applications have been rejected. Our reporter Joseph Wakuhungu with the details.
Days after declaring Kenya a visa-free destination, the government says there has been an influx of foreigners seeking to visit the country. Speaking while assessing the progress on the rollout of the electronic travel authorization system at JKIA on Thursday, Immigration and Citizen Services Principal Secretary Ambassador Julius Bitok says the country has earned $1 million in foreign exchange in a week's time.
With the ETA system, we have been able to collect $1 million in the last 7 days, which is really very impressive because this is money coming from the outside. This is foreign exchange for the people of Kenya.
This as the number of visitors who have applied to visit Kenya through the electronic travel authorization ETA system hit 32,000 in the same period.
Of the 32,000 we received, 25,000 have been approved. All right, not 22,000. And the rest are still under the approval process. They are still going through the security checks. And of these 32,000, about 110 have been rejected for security reasons.
The PS has reassured the country that elaborate measures have been put in place to root out criminals who intend to use the system to enter the country.
With the new system now, we are able to, just like e-visa, we are able to tell people who are not allowed to come to Kenya for one reason or another. It could be because of reasons related to security, it could be related to terrorism.
We are developing the system and we are reviewing it every day basing on the feedback that we are getting. And one of the biggest issues was the upload of a bank statement that we thought maybe it wasn't necessary then.
Now the government says 32,000 travelers have already been able to access and use the electronic travel authorization system in order to gain authorization to enter the country. And the government further says it has made the application process even easier and seamless. It can now take you up to 5 minutes for you to be able to complete the entire process and gain authorization to enter Kenya. For Prime Edition reporting, I'm Joseph Omo.
The battle to join the Judicial Service Commission and head the lawyers' body entered its home stretch Thursday, with several lawyers submitting their nomination papers ahead of the Friday deadline. The nominees eyeing to be elected pledged to champion for good governance and fair administration of justice for all citizens. The Law Society of Kenya is expected to conduct its general elections on the 22nd of January 2024.
Thursday afternoon was a beehive of activities at the Law Society of Kenya Lavington headquarters as lawyers interested in different positions rushed to beat the Friday deadline of presenting their nomination papers ahead of the general election later this month. The outgoing LSK President Eric Seure, who is vying for the representative to the Judicial Service Commission, expressed optimism he'll clinch the seat.
There is a high time that we deepen and we automate all administrative processes within the judiciary. We expand the e-filing system to across the country so that justice can then be accessed easily, speedily.
The JSC position has attracted 3 candidates, including Professor Wabwire and Omwanza Ombate. The position of the President of the Law Society has attracted 5 candidates.
We will be consequential, we will be strategic, and we will offer groundbreaking ideas to ensure that Law Society of Kenya plays its central role in the socio-economic and political development of this country, as provided for in the law.
My mantra really is to have a firm, bold law society. We need firm, bold action, unwavering commitment to the rule of law. We cannot have anything other than that.
We shall keep every institution in check without favor or without fear.
6 candidates have expressed interest in the Nairobi representative branch position, among them lawyer Stephen Mbugwa, Justice Otieno Shadrack Wamboi, among others.
The LSK will not and shall not allow or sit back and watch anyone try to intimidate or threaten the judicial officers or the judges.
As a Nairobi representative, what I've looked at and what I've seen in this profession is that getting client has become a problem, whereby there is a certain glitch that is able to get clients and even to get tenders.
The very heartbeat of legal practice is here in Nairobi, and we need a representative who is assertive, who is bold, and who is fresh to express the interest of the members of the Law Society of Kenya and to advocate and fight fearlessly for the interest and the welfare of the general public.
Other positions up for grabs are that of council member representatives. The elections will be conducted in the next 10 days. Ruth Wamboi for Prime Edition.
Well, when we come back, I will be telling you about which counties are in trouble for fictitious spending when it comes to international and local travel. That and more coming up shortly.
School fees ya mtoto imelipwa, lakini bado tunataka kuendelea throughout.
Lotomoto imekuja kwa maisha yetu when I needed it the most. That is all I can say for now. I'm so grateful. May God bless you.
Cheza Lotomoto. Shinda pesa moto moto.
In heaven's name am I doing?
And not tell you anything.
Why not?
Because I am afraid that you'd want to go looking for him. Satisfied now?
Did something happen between you and Marcelo?
Rodrigo is in serious trouble.
That Lucia is still crazy over heels about you.
Oh, Dad, you were very generous to give my sister an apartment that cost millions. But when I asked for something, you refused to give it to me.
Enough, Laura, that's enough. What are you talking about? What have I done now? Getting Nora got Yola pregnant enough for you?
Welcome back now to some good news where learners joining Form 1 in day school within Kiharu constituency are set to have their school fees subsidized, while others will enjoy full scholarship complete with free uniform. This follows the launch of an ambitious program by the area legislator Ndindi Nyoro under the National Government Constituency Development Fund. The initiative is aimed at enhancing access to education and improving transition to secondary school.
Thursday in Kiharu constituency in Murang'a County.
You need to have a vision.
Hundreds gathered for the launch of a program aimed at enhancing education of learners in the constituency. The program, dubbed Masomo Bora program, spearheaded by the area MP Ndindi Nyoro, will see students reporting to Form 1 in 20-day schools within the constituency enroll without paying a single cent for school fees or the purchase of uniforms.
Ukiingiza mtoto Form 1 katika hizo shule, Term 1 tumekulipia na school fees tutakulipia. Wewe kama mzazi utaanza kulipia huyo mtoto school fees katika Term 2, kwa sababu katika hizo 20 schools we are paying for the first fee, for the first term fees, and we are also buying uniforms for the Form 1s.
Additionally, parents whose children are in day schools for their secondary education will only pay 1,000 shillings as school fees and enjoy free meals as part of a school feeding program.
Tukaongeza kitu ingine hapa Kiharu, that the last Friday of every month katika day schools zetu zote 62, lunch ya wanafunzi watakuwa wanakula chapati hapa Kiharu.
According to Nyoro, the move is aimed at enhancing education standards in the constituency, promoting equality and easing the burden of exorbitant school fees for parents who can barely afford to put food on the table.
Mwanafunzi ama wazazi wale wamekubaliana na neno ya remedio ama tuition katika mashule zao, tumekubaliana na our principals, hiyo remedio ama tuition isipite shilingi 1,000 hapa Kiharu. So 1,000 school fees in Kiharu, wale wako na remedio pia isipite 1,000, na hiyo tumekubaliana na walimu wetu hapa Kiharu.
Several legislators who attended the launch of the program, that also includes the tiling of classes, construction of laboratories and libraries in day schools, hailed it as transformative, calling for a national rollout of a similar program.
Mheshimiwa Ndindi Nyoro, what you've done here in Kiharu is not just for the people of Murang'a and the people of Kiharu constituency, but is for the betterment of the Republic of Kenya, because there are very many Kenyans who are learning from what you are doing here in Kiharu, and we are replicating in our individual constituencies going forward.
Ndindi Nyoro, one day ukiendelea namna hii na kuunganisha sisi vile tunaungana hapa, sababu hatuna siri, you will be the president of the Republic of Kenya.
Asante kwa kuleta maarifa ambayo sisi wote tunaangalia kwa sasa.
Tarehe 1 Januari nilitangaza pia huko Chesumei kuwa mimi nitakuwa na hii program ya kusaidia wanafunzi. Sisi tunakutaka uende pale juu presidency.
John Jacob Curia, Prime Edition.
Victims of the Saturday Our Lady of Peace school evictions now claim they are yet to access their belongings in the facility. More on this and other stories in the County News Roundup.
According to Kwamboka Atancha, who worked at the learning facility, all her belongings are still detained in the school. The victims claim the eviction was done by unknown people who claimed ownership of the school. They point an accusing finger at the Assumption sisters.
Wakati nilienda kwa chifu, nilikuwa nataka chifu anisaidie nichukue vitu bila kelele, bila maneno mingi. Chifu naye akaita na sister. Kuita sister alianza kunitukana.
Elsewhere, the lifeless body of a 12-year-old girl was discovered in the classroom ceiling of Mokoiwet Primary School in Trans Nzoia County. Triza Naliaka, a grade 6 pupil, was reported missing since Boxing Day last year. Her grandmother works as a security guard at the school. Meanwhile, At least 260 needy students from Kisii County will benefit from the Elimu Scholarship Program to further their secondary education.
We want to ensure that the chiefs and assistant chiefs do a mop-up with a view of ensuring 100% transition. Apart from Jomo Kenyatta Foundation, we have other players. We have the national government CDF, which also avails scholarships and bursaries. And so we have no reason to keep our children at home.
Elsewhere, Naivasha Member of Parliament Jane Kiharu has attributed the rising number of needy students in the area to the high number of unsettled IDPs in the lakeside town.
We got a lot of IDPs from 2007, so they are still trying to settle down. We have got informal settlements, more than 4. We have Maimayo, we have Kabati, we have Midori, we have Kihoto, we have Kamere, all those. So it's a very needy constituency.
Finally, North Imenti MP Rahim Dawood has expressed solidarity with President William Ruto on tackling corruption in various arms of the government.
Sasa wakifungia kila kazi ile rais anapendekeza kama Kenya Kwanza, itakuwa namna gani? Ataonekana baada ya miaka 5 atakuwa hataweza kuwa amefanya kazi. Lakini abide by court rulings, hiyo ninasema lazima tufanye, but let the court rulings be reflective of public policy and public interest.
John Junge for Prime Edition.
It's now time for business, where the government is intensifying enforcement measures to curb illegal importation of dairy products. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mithika Linturi is accusing criminals of attempting to undermine the government's plan to grow the dairy subsector by importing illicit products that pose health risks to Kenyans and lead to loss of tax revenue.
I'm simply saying this because it is a simple demonstration of the serious effects of the kind of threat the country is faced with when these unscrupulous, criminal minded traders pose to this country. But even beyond that, what are we saying? We are saying ile maziwa imeletwa hapa sababu haijakaguliwa vizuri, haijulikani imetoka wapi, na mumeona hapa, inamaanisha ya kwamba hata afya yetu kama Wakenya, ile wale wangekunywa maziwa haya, basi ingewapea ama ingekuwa na madhara mingi kwa afya ya watu wetu.
President William Ruto says the government is spending 5 billion shillings on modernization of new Kenya cooperative creameries to bolster the factory's processing capacity. President Ruto has also put on notice unscrupulous business people who import powdered milk and directed new KCC to start paying farmers 50 shillings per litre of milk delivered by farmers beginning March this year.
Nilikuwa hapa katika kiwanda hii ya KCC 2017. Wakati nilikuja hapa, tulikuwa na matatizo makubwa kwa mambo ya KCC. Mimi yale nimeona hapa leo, namshukuru Mungu kwa sababu ya mambo yamebadilika. Nimekubaliana na Prime Minister wa India, Prime Minister Modi, watatupatia shilingi bilioni 37 ambayo tutaweka katika sekta hii ya kilimo. Kati ya hiyo pesa, bilioni 5
tunataka kuweka katika modernization ya KCC.
Na tusasema ni asante kwa sababu hii modernization process ambayo ulianzia na imeendelea. KCC today is capable of processing more than 800 liters per day. Na sasa sisi kama wakulima we are equal to that task.
Hii tunalipa 45. Tulikuwa tumekubaliana bei ya mkulima ni 50. So wewe watu ya KCC kuanzia mwezi wa 3 tarehe 1 mwanze kulipa 50 shillings kwa wakulima. Wakulima wote wa Kenya 50 bob. Kuanzia mwezi wa 3 tarehe 1 mwanze kulipa.
Tunataka kusema ni asanti sana kwa sababu wakati tuko na glut ya maziwa, it is only the government that comes to our aid. Now all that aid, Your Excellency, is normally channeled through new KCC. When everybody else is running away from you, maziwa inachukuliwa na KCC. So KCC now becomes the buyer of the last resort.
Ni kushukuru wewe kwamba mwaka huu wa 2024 umeanza na wakulima wa maziwa. Sisi tunakushukuru. Hiyo inadhihirisha upendo wako kwa wakulima wa maziwa. Ulipochukua uongozi, uliangazia watu wa chini. Mambo ya maziwa, kahawa na yale mengine yamekuwa kipaumbele.
Saa hii wale ambao walikuwa wanaumiza wakulima walikuwa wana import powdered milk. Wanaweka maji, wanakoroga, wanachukua kidogo kwa wakulima, wanatuuzia vile wanataka. Wakati huu serikali yetu imesema hakuna powdered milk katika Jamhuri ya Kenya. Maziwa inunuliwa hawa wakulima.
Mambo ya watu walagai, matapeli, wachache wanaenda wananunua poda, wanakuja kuharibu soko ya maziwa yetu. Mimi nataka niwahakikishie, I've given firm instructions to the DCI and to Dairy Board to make sure that all smugglers, whoever they are, however powerful they may be, we must deal with them firmly and decisively. Our farmers must be protected from unscrupulous business people. People who are looking for their own benefit, they are not looking at the greater good of our farming industry. Na kuanzia mwezi wa 7, Bwana Kimani Ichung'wah, leader, mimi nitaleta maneno bunge. Kuanzia mwezi wa 7, mimi nataka hawa wakulima tutaongeza pesa kwa KCC ili hawa wakulima walipwe kila tarehe 15, 15 days, kila mkulima analipwa pesa yake. Kwa sababu hii kilimo ya maziwa gharama yake ni mingi. Huwezi kungojea mwezi moja, utazama hapa katikati.
We've gone ahead tukamaliza pia school fees ya your other kid.
Thank you God. Asante sana Loto Moto.
Cheza Loto Moto. Shinda pesa moto moto.
Discover a professional center where we deliver to you cutting-edge practical skills for the construction industry. Discover the leading institute where we equip you with proficient skills in plant operations and plant mechanics. Meet the experts who empower you with competent skills in building construction and civil engineering courses. Join us today to pursue your course at craft, certificate and diploma level. Sensei Institute of Technology, future.
Nilikuwa naonelea next week unipatie hapo nikalime kidogo.
Alikuwa hiyo kitabu tafadhali utoke uende pole pole.
Tumekaa tukaona sisi hatutaki mchezo. Mambo ya kufanya kazi mchana ilipitwa na wakati. Chana nawe unafanya nini?
Hii mama kaya hii vitu gani hiyo wanafanyia watu?
Mimi ni the new general chief, general organizer, assistant manager.
We. Kwa nini unachukua simu yangu naweka kwa moto matope bwana?
Nisipochunga akili yangu sasa nani ataweza kumanage? Akili yangu itayeyukwa na ninajua.
Welcome back. Now, digitization, cybersecurity, youth entrepreneurship, future of work and talent development will be among issues to be discussed during the upcoming 41st edition of IASP Global Conference in Nairobi this September. ICT and Digital Economy Principal Secretary Engineer John Tanui says there is a need to enhance research and development uptake of STEM courses, workforce development and ICT connectivity to achieve digital transformation.
Kenya secured the right to host the 41st edition of IASP, International Association of Science Parks and Areas of Innovation Global Conference, slated for September this year. Planners for the event believe the conference will contribute to business conference.
It's a very special association that brings science parks like Onsa Technopolis, places where research facilities are hosted, where top scientists and research are based, and they address some of the global leading challenges and finding solutions and linking it to business, that they can create startups, they can create enterprises that will drive the world economy.
Those in the ICT space are calling for increased investment in research and development, as well as a science innovation ecosystem and science parks, creation of software development centers, and building of a skills database that match the industry needs.
Hosting the global data in Kenya and basically Onsa Technopolis provide us with an opportunity to attract the best talent in as far as innovations is concerned.
The economy, when you look at education, you look at the health sector, you look at the agriculture sector, there's no one single sector which can now be able to survive and thrive without use of technology, but not only the use of technology, but really deploying innovative technology.
We have an opportunity for our seasoned researchers to mentor and develop the capacity of the young researchers so that together they can work and produce cutting-edge knowledge to advance growth in all sectors of the economy.
He says cutting-edge technology and digital solutions will position Kenya as a competitive investment destination.
So connectivity to our universities, connectivity to our digital hubs, enabling them to access the digital platform that will open opportunities for them is very critical.
Kenya is fostering a culture of creativity, collaboration, and supporting development of new products and solutions that meet the needs and expectation of the users.
Now, Kenya is recognized as an economic, financial, and logistics hub in East Africa. Kenya has also witnessed a number of international conventions and is expected to host this year the International Association of Science Parks and Areas of Innovation. That is the conference that is happening in September, and also will be hosting the Connected Continental Summit in April.
Wairi Mujenga for Prime Edition.
Thank you, Wairi Mujenga, for that story. We continue with ICT, and in studio I have a guest, Yvonne Kangondu, co-founder of ICP Kushite East Africa. Thank you so much for joining us, and this topic is really exciting. Let's first start with the future of work. How does the future work environment look like?
Well, currently I think we're kind of living in the future post-coronavirus.
Yes.
After coronavirus,
it was the catalyst.
Yeah, it was a catalyst. Exactly what you said.
Yeah.
We moved to a place where, from people who, you know, previously we thought that we have to sit in an office, we have to work together, but right now we find that you can work anywhere in the world, you can work from home, you can work with anyone in the world from the comfort of your room, from the comfort of... I run an organization called Kenya Blockchain Ladies DAO, and we encourage mothers to work online. So we have situations where we have women raising their kids while working, doing transcription, writing, doing blockchain work, offering services. So the future of work will mostly rotate about us here at home, Africa, because we have a lot of young people. They say that the next population will be from Africa, from Asia, offering services to the rest of the world. So in this global village that we're sort of developing in, the future of work looks like more online work, more internet-based work, more software work. Yeah, that's
so
basically
we have to
it.
embrace ICT.
Of course, there's no way around it.
What does it mean then for Africa and the growing youth in Africa? What opportunities are there for them?
It's kind of, we can't really define them at this moment because it's kind of like the situation. I normally use the example of the postman and Facebook.
Yes.
When Facebook came into the picture and social media, the people working at the post office probably lost all their jobs because communication was made to be faster, more efficient. But how many jobs came out of social media? How many social media managers do we have? How many influencers do we have? How many jobs came out of it? So right now we can't really say the jobs of tomorrow are not yet formed because recently we had a career of someone advertising online that they are looking for a meme king, someone to provide memes.
We probably even have to describe to people what memes mean.
Yeah, exactly. Well, those funny things you see on WhatsApp
someone
status.
Is actually hired to come up with memes.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's a great way of communicating.
Yes, and it's a great way of spreading news, marketing, and the likes. So the future of work, we have to say it will be digital, it will be online, it will be on the phone, on our computers, on devices, and it will be new. The thing that's really important is we have to be ready as Africans. We have to be educated, we have to have the culture of learning and unlearning, we have to have the spirit of interacting with the rest of the world. And Kenya, I believe, is a leader so far. When we look at the youth, we look at how they're offering services. We had that time when there was a online writing crisis in Kenya. When we look at influencers, we've been doing so much. Yesterday there was a report I saw, and in the industry of startups, ICT startups, we've raised the highest in Africa.
Wow.
So we are really ahead of everyone else.
So what's making Kenya ahead? You just mentioned, and I saw that story where Kenyans were writing papers for students in Harvard and other universities around the world. What makes Kenya ahead?
My personal belief is that because of the highly educated youth, the high internet penetration in the country, and the catalyst would be youth unemployment. So because Kenyans already knew, I remember when I was finishing uni, I knew I was going into the unemployment world. But you knew some people, this guy or a rumor somewhere that someone has made it online, so you go through that route. So with that, we find, like for example, where I work at full-time is called Kushite ICP Hub. We train a lot of developers on how they can find jobs and they can become certified blockchain developers, how they can provide services of blockchain development to the rest of the world, how they can build their own products and get investments from all over the world. So, and also by the fact that we speak good English, by the fact that we have fintech penetration, by the fact that our internet is very fast compared to the rest of the world, it's really making money move in Kenya.
So do you think it's also perhaps time for the education system to change and be a little bit open-minded? Because I don't know any college, university or school that teaches or offer a degree on, say, social media management and stuff like that. Yet even those universities actually have social media managers. Is it true? I find that very interesting. I'm like, do you offer the course? No, but they're advertising on Facebook. They even have memes on Facebook. So should our systems, education systems, begin to change? Should we even be a bit more open-minded that perhaps for people to get a job, they do not need a degree?
Yeah, well, I believe yesterday we were having a conversation on Twitter, and we were saying how It44 created the culture of competition, the culture of hard work amongst Kenyans. What's important, as I mentioned, the jobs of tomorrow are not really there yet. What's important in this fourth industrial revolution is having the culture of learning and unlearning and relearning. Because you can, for example, a financial economics graduate, but I went into blockchain just because it's new and it's an emerging technology. So if we're looking at the skills that are necessary for us to excel in this industry, in this global revolution that we are having, we need to always be updated. Like, not that we need to, like the school system always need to update its curriculum every now and then, but needs to have the culture of teaching their kids, their students, that, by the way, you can teach yourselves. You can be at whatever age and still go back to your books, go to the internet and study. And there's a school that does that so well called Moringa School. It's a software boot camp in Kenya, and what they do, they teach you for like 1 hour in the day, and the rest of the day you're teaching yourself. And that's the culture we need to have, not that we need to sit in a classroom and read and be taught by a teacher, but rather you need to be ready to be learning every single day and updating your skills every single day online.
And what does it mean then for even economies around Africa? I just did a story on farming and agriculture, and for a very long time, especially in Kenya, our biggest foreign earner has been agriculture, the flowers, and also tourism. But now it looks like another economy is completely coming up. What is Kenya and other African countries, how are we likely to look like in the coming years?
So far, I think we are doing so well. What I really wonder is how with the next generation of our students, there's a phase we are going through where we're learning a lot and we're doing a lot of TikToks and a lot of social media. But how do we balance that with the African values that we have? But in terms of skills and education-wise, we just need to have that discipline, because when I look at a country like Nigeria, initially it was way ahead of us, even with foreign direct FDI, foreign investment. It was doing way better than us, but then it created a sort of reputation for itself, like a reputation that didn't appeal to the rest of the world. But for Kenya, we're already offering services to the rest of the world digitally. But can we create a reputation of hardworking youth, disciplined youth, services that are quality, services that are people who are reliable? So in terms of getting, providing services online and human resource services to the rest of the world, we're already there. But what I would take caution on is, can we provide a disciplined students, disciplined youth who can actually serve the rest of the world and create a positive reputation for all of us?
And when it comes to payments, I've seen people a lot of times complain on social media, especially in Africa and in Kenya, and they say they get into some of these platforms that are international, for example, even YouTube, but their payments are quite different from developed countries. Is that likely to change, and that we're going to have an equal playground for everyone around the world?
Well, that's where our industry comes in, blockchain technology.
Yes.
For example, ICP, Internet Computer Protocol, we have, I know it's not well received by the rest of the world, but we use cryptocurrencies.
Yes. Yeah.
And cryptocurrencies, they even the playing ground. They don't really know which country you're from. They don't really mark which region, how old you are, what's your credit score, and the likes, like traditional financial systems. So what we've seen a lot of Kenyan youth. There's a time Kenya was even ranked one of the highest receptors of cryptocurrencies for both male and female. So before we used to have sort of discriminatory payment systems for our online workers like PayPal, bank transfer, but a lot of Kenyan youths are moving onto the cryptocurrency side because the best way to use cryptocurrency is to earn it, is to get paid through it, because it's fast. Like for example, if you earn through ICP, it's immediate. It's the fastest, one of the fastest cryptocurrencies. You can send anywhere in the world. It takes exactly the same amount of time for me to send money to you and to send money to anyone, say Indonesia. Exactly the same. It really evens the playing ground. So that's why I call it the internet money. It's what we need right now as we move to this like online world. It's online money.
Yes. To my last question, there's something interesting that you said when we started the interview, that we really can tell the future of the workspace. But how can we ensure as Kenya and as Africa that we also have a say, and whatever direction it takes, it is going to benefit Africa?
We just have to be present, and because right now everything we do is monitored. You can talk online, just a simple person, anyone, KBC can post this story online and the whole world is available to see. So we have to keep participating on the digital platforms that are presented to us, but at the same time, make sense. Keep on being updated with information and the point is that we need, as we wrap up, the skills that are necessary are sorry. Sorry, you got distracted. Anyway, so I was saying we have to keep updated on the skills, and I advise, I highly, let me just shamelessly market myself, but at Kushite ICP Hub, we train developers on how to build on blockchain technology. And if you follow us, we can train you and certify you as a blockchain developer. That's one of the ways we can keep updated on the skills and have meaningful conversations.
And make sure that you're ahead of the game. Well, thank you so much, Yvonne, for joining us tonight. We were talking about the future of work and the importance of ICT. Now, moving on, Kenya is planning to anchor South Korea as its gateway to the Asian coffee markets as Kenya targets additional international markets. Cooperative and Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Development Cabinet Secretary Simon Chelgei says that they are targeting to increase the minimum coffee price at the international markets to 4,800 shillings per kilo in the next 3 years.
Coffee is recognized as one of the critical enterprises under the agriculture sector in the Government of Kenya Vision 2030. It plays a critical role in our economy, contributing significantly to our foreign exchange earnings and improving the livelihoods of rural communities.
In a world filled with uncertainty, there is one thing we can always count on: the power of compassion and generosity. Every day, families in Kenya face unimaginable challenges and hardships. They struggle to put food on the table, provide shelter for their loved ones, and access basic health care. But today, you have the power to make a difference. By just contributing 1 shilling and 50 cents from your airtime, your generosity can provide access to sanitary pads, nutritious food, clean water, education, and life-saving medical care to those who need it most. To To support this cause, please tune in to your favorite radio station under the KBC umbrella for step-by-step instructions on how to subscribe. KBC Helping Hands. Together, we can make a difference and bring hope to those in need.
Get ready for the captivating return of the FKF Premier League, exclusively on KBC. Brace yourself for the thrill of football as 18 teams battle it out for glory. Every week, KBC brings you not one, but two heart-pounding matches, delivering the best football action right to your living room. The stakes are higher than ever. The league champion takes home a handsome prize of 5 million shillings and also earns the honor of representing Kenya in the prestigious CAF Champions League. Feel the adrenaline, experience the suspense, and join the roar of the crowd as we celebrate the return of Kenya's football legacy. The FKF Premier League, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1 and KBC radio stations. Save the date, mark your calendars, and get ready for the ultimate football spectacle. Coming to you live only on KBC. KBC, your true sports partner.
Well, it's time for all the sporting action, and I can see Wahome on the other side. Wahome, you have a story on the AFCON kickoff. What else do you have for us tonight?
Well, we'll also be talking about a tournament for reformed alcoholics and drug substance users, and also something about athletics. It's the cross-country season in the country.
Thank you. So take it away. It seems like you have a really interesting bulletin for us tonight.
All right, thank you, Cynthia. And we start with football, where the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations will finally kick off on Saturday as the continent's top teams fight for African supremacy. Initially slated for last year, climate concerns in the host nation Cote d'Ivoire saw the competition delayed to January 2024. The tournament, which originally began with just 3 teams way back in 1957, now boasts 24 sides doing battle in its 34th edition. Host Cote d'Ivoire kick off the tournament against Guinea-Bissau in Abidjan, aiming to win the competition for the 3rd time. Defending champions Senegal, World Cup semi-finalists Morocco and Egypt are also in contention, as well as other African powerhouses, namely Nigeria, Algeria and Ghana. The final will be played on the 11th of February at the Stade Olympique Alassane Ouattara in Abidjan. Another spouse of the Deputy President, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, has today launched a football tournament at the Mutwine grounds in Dagoretti, South Nairobi, which targets reforming and reformed addicts of alcohol and drug abuse. Car Soba FC beat Chini ya Mnazi by 3 goals to 0 in an exhibition match played during the launch.
The spouse of the Deputy President, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, today launched a football tournament in Dagoretti South. The teams have been formed from some of the men who have undergone rehabilitation under Pastor Dorcas Boy Child program in various parts of the country. Some of the men who were not severely affected by the drugs and substance underwent a 1-month rehabilitation program at the ASK Jamhuri Showground in Nairobi. Another cohort underwent a 3-month rehab program in various rehabilitation centers.
Time is now for us to break free from the chains that bind us, that allure us to addiction, and we must say no to drugs. It must be defeated.
Pastor Dorcas promised employment for those who successfully complete the rehabilitation cycle.
Addiction have stolen the dreams and aspiration of many who can have been the backbone of our nation's progress.
Each one of these individuals is representing a family that was crying as a son was disappearing in alcohol. Today, wazazi wako hapa. Hawa ni mashahidi kwamba mpango huu unafanya kazi na vijana wanabadilika.
Some of those who have completed the program have already been placed in empowerment programs across the country. Join Abwile for Prime Edition.
Now, over 50 foreign athletes are expected to compete in the third edition of the Sirikwa Classic cross-country set for next month in Eldoret. Meanwhile, Meringoge will line up for this year's Boston Marathon in the United States in April.
Sirikwa Classic cross-country organizers are targeting to invite over 50 foreign athletes for the third edition of the gold label event slated for 3rd of next month in Labo Village, Eldoret in Uasin Gishu County. The event director Barnaba Korir said they have invited athletes from Uganda, Ethiopia, Tanzania and Eritrea, with the final list set to be released by the end of this month.
Honorable Ababuna Mwamba has come up with very noble ideas like having a talanta hela, a talent and hela, which is money. You have to use your talent to earn something. And that's exactly what we are replicating. What he's talking about, the support from the government through his ministry, and of course now the partners that will also be working together like Absa Bank and others who will be joining us.
Korir also hinted that Athletics Kenya may use the event as trials for selecting Team Kenya for World Cross Country Championships set for Belgrade, Serbia on 30th March. The categories for this year's event include the 10-kilometer senior men and women, 6-kilometer under 20 girls, 8-kilometer under 20 boys, mixed relay, the kids event, as well as the new race for the veterans over 45 years.
We fed and only pick those ones who can qualify for the trials now, the main trials. Then those ones will now go for the trials that will select the team, that the team that will go to Beirut. So we have a multiple filtering point that gives opportunity to every athlete a chance to showcase their talents.
Meanwhile, Mary Ngugi has announced that she will line up the start of this year's Boston Marathon to be held in April in the United States. Ngugi says she enjoys running in Boston, having managed 2 podium finishes. Join Abwile for Prime Edition.
Now, the Kenya National Rugby Sevens teams will begin their Challenger Series campaign against Mexico tomorrow in Dubai as they seek to find their way back to the World Rugby Sevens Series. The team of 12 players on duty in Dubai was unveiled on Sunday and is focused on playing at their very best in the series, motivated by the fact that a win will push them closer to a return to the World Series, where they were relegated from last May. After their game against Mexico on Friday afternoon, Shujaa will face their neighbors Uganda later in the same day and wrap up their Pool C fixtures against Germany on Saturday.
The space out wide, they're going to use the full width, the pass is behind, Cruelly.
Ruto Rasaku delights the home fans here.
Really good footwork through the middle again. The space out wide, they're going to use the full width, the pass is behind, Cruelly. But finally, Cookie, yuck.
Oh, that's electric. Wow. Ruto Rasaku delights the home fans here.
Really good footwork through the middle again. The space out wide, they're going to use the full width, the pass is behind, Cruelly. But finally,
and that's the sport for tonight. More is coming up tomorrow, even as we build up to a lot of sporting action this weekend, including our main focus tomorrow, Shujaa and the Kenya Lionesses in Dubai at the Challenger Series. My name is Daniel Wahome. Have a good night. Back to you, Cynthia Nyamai.
Thank you, Wahome. Now, that marks the end of tonight's bulletin. I would just love to read a comment from Anne, who says that she found tonight's interview really interesting, as we had someone who's below the age of 35. I don't know how you know that, but yes, tonight's interview was quite interesting. Well, from me and the rest of the team, we would like to wish you a very good night.
Mambo ni mawili, kufikisha, kumwaga na kurudi. Kulala ni mwaka mpya.
Bua muka we mse. Nini mbaya? Wewe kwani wani vile dereva anaendesha gari vibaya? Lazima tususe. Anaendesha gari na kwa simu the whole time hata angalia barabara.